Hello, everyone. My name is Tamara Gibson. I'm the owner and CEO of TT Innovative Solutions, and I'm here today to share with you collecting your information for evaluation. I titled it a little bit different this time, but that's effectively what I'm going to be doing with you today. It is sharing your impact with uh, your administrator. But I really want to say it's more than that. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. But today we're going to be covering evidence of your impact, how you can showcase your growth through the T-test domains. And then I'm going to also spotlight PPR 160. As always, we want to let you know about our programs and how we are being as effective as possible and assisting people to get their educating certification. Okay. So again, thank you as always for being present. I am going to focus this entire conversation around T-test framework. You know that there are 4 parts, and for those of you who have never experienced it, you are new to the profession and it's your first year in Texas being evaluated. This is the framework that is used and utilized. And there is a way for you to be effective in building your portfolio. Okay, so tonight we'll use this format to build out your portfolio. We're going to be documenting our wins and then reporting them accurately so that we can share that information when it's time to turn it in. At the end of the year, there are lots of things that are going on, and they'll be asking you for this information. And I thought that this is a great time for you to start doing a little check-in and start gathering the things that you need so that you're not rushed and you're not giving a product that is not worthy of what you've actually done this year. So in essence, I want you to be your own cheerleader. It is something that I wish I had done all throughout the 20 years of my career. I do have some information that I have recorded, but there is so much more that can be recorded for yourself. Even if you decide that you're retiring out of education and you don't need anything else, I still think it's important for you to know the impact that you have given to your said organization. And in doing so, it means that I have to gather up. I have to be reminded of the things that I'm doing. And the best way to do that is to document it while it's happening. So being your own cheerleader also leads to you gathering what I like to say, your receipts. Gathering your receipts, knowing what it is that you've contributed to the community, to the school that you serviced, if there is multiple schools or campuses, moving from one said position to another one, and also gathering the information that is needed in order to share that. And so how can I do that is exactly what we're going to spend the majority of our time on today, making certain that I am showcasing what I'm doing, just like this gentleman, with excitement, vigor, and understanding that I am impacting this educational setting in which I am placed in. And it doesn't matter what setting it is. If it's in a classroom, if you are district personnel, if you are in auxiliaries or ancillary, it does not matter. You're still going to have to turn in an end of the year evaluation regarding what you have done. And so we don't want to kind of, just throw some things together. We want to be very strategic about what we put out as our collective receipts, okay? And so in doing so, we want to present our achievements, okay? You have been putting in the work. You're passionate about the achievements you have made, your students have made, the hard work, the resilience, all of the responsibilities that you've had over the year. These are things that you want to place into this portfolio. I'm going to suggest that you actually put it into your Google Drive on your work device or your work platform, as well as your personal. Okay, when I got ready to leave the school district, there were lots of things that I left behind in the school district, and I'm not upset about it or anything, but I know now how valuable they could be to my said venture right now. So learning from things that I wish that I was able to provide and to do and to have underneath my fingertips right now, I'm going to tell you some ways in which you can document what you have done and are currently doing. One of those ways is to make sure that you are taking pictures. Candid pictures, pictures that are orchestrated to show what your kids are doing. You can snap a few pictures maybe once a month. It's not necessary for you to document every single little thing because that makes this work. You're just collecting what you already know that you're doing. The next thing is to prepare your documents in which you are able to connect a link in your said portal. So the district that I was a part of, they had a portal in which you place this end of the year information. And part of it was I could put in these various options. So putting in a link that will take them to said document if there is a document that you want to showcase. And then finally, of course, recording some of the things that you are doing in your current position. All right, so let's get straight into it because I told you that we would do it by t-test. And the first part or section of the t-test is the planning part. You want to select 2 to 3 lesson plans that are going to show that you understood the TEKS clear, that they're organized, your lesson plan is organized, it's rigorous, and it's showing your measurable goal. That's what you want to do. And while you're at it, there's a space within that portal that you can write a brief description about said item that you put in. And then you could also insert a picture or a screenshot of any comments that you had if that was one of the lesson plans that you used during your evaluation, your formals and informals, okay? And the second way I would say that the second part of the portfolio that you can start to build can be titled instruction. Okay, and this part, you're going to be showcasing your instructional best practices that you used in the classrooms, say math, if you're using the read, draw, and write, read, write, and draw strategy. Showcase how you're doing that, even possibly video one of your children doing it, because you've taught them how to do it and they're now going to teach the class. There's so many different examples of how you can showcase your instruction and it not just simply be paper and pen. But you want to show instances of how you've monitored and you've adjusted your plan. You have to do a beginning of the year plan showing what you're going to set your goals. And so show how it began, and then like now is mid-year, more than mid-year actually, you start to look and see the adjustments you made in order to ensure that your plan was going to work out. And definitely insert student samples. There are ways in which you can and programs in which you can block out the student's name if you desire to, or only show their first name, but you are able to show your student samples, or if they've built some portfolio over the course of the year that you've helped them to do, this is a great spot to place this in the instructional piece. The third part of the t-test is displaying your learning environment, okay? So you want to showcase the various areas in your classroom. To me, the best way to do that is in action, okay, and real time. So I would, again, take photos of my students in these areas that I've set up to be flexible seating when they're collaborating together on said subject. And of course, when they're in their learning centers, if your district calls them learning centers, or in their student workspace. You can do this while the students are participating. You can also just simply show the area, because sometimes it showing and just showing the picture of the area, the person that is evaluating can see all of the valid points in which you need to show in order to receive the points from that section. And then, of course, share your community rules, your procedures, pictures of that. And all of these things that I'm telling you to do, I'm not telling you to create something. You've already created it. I'm telling you to document what you're already doing. Okay, go back and find these examples that you have already that you're able to put together and to give to said person or whomever your administrator is that's going to be doing the evaluation. It makes it easier for them to be able to look at how to score you, and it makes it it makes your case for how you should be scored. Okay. And then finally, the fourth section that I want to talk about today is professional practices and responsibilities. Throughout the year, we are attending all kinds of events. We're showing up for the students we're showing up for our groups. We're showing up for district requirements. You want to keep an active record. And if you haven't, it's okay. It's March. Start going back to the time to August and start writing those things down in one place so that when the correct forms are given to you in order to document it, you have it. I know that a lot of us trust the online portals that the district uses in order to document what we've done. So say I show up to a training and I sign in and then they send me a certificate. Those are great, but download those because we never know if these systems and processes are going to keep our information. Always having a different way for it to be documented, multiple storage areas for your information is best practice, okay? Then share pictures of the events. You participating in the events, your kids participating, the staff, and be able to record that. And then recording your number of participation for your parents and your follow-up. So here in this time, this is your call logs. If you're using a said system for recording students' great behavior like ClassDojo. This is a great way for you to kind of screenshot a few of those things and making certain that you're careful about the confidentiality of what you're going to share with your administrator. And then finally, screenshotting some of your mobile device access. That being maybe you have Remind 101 instead of ClassDojo and you're sharing that. You can screenshot a few things from there in order to put in. Everything that I've told you about each one of these particular areas. Let me go back to the first one. Planning. You already have lesson plans. Don't go recreate the wheel. Use the wheel that was already made for you. You've already created it. So just go back and find your selected best ones that can follow those descriptors that are in T-test. Second, for instruction, same thing. You have been instructing all year and you have opportunities to showcase it. So no, we're not going back and going to try to create something new. We are using what we've already done in the parameters of the rubric that has been provided for us. I haven't gone through T-tests one by one here on our end, but I probably will start to continue to highlight each one and talk about it because it's an important document. You might think, oh, this is a whole lot of stuff that we have to keep up with. But if you know what you're being scored on, you will do better at presenting the products that you're trying to present according to that rubric. It's the same thing with our kids. When we give them a set rubric about something, they're going to look for the areas and make sure that they're attacking those areas. Again, your learning environment. You already have your space set up. If your space is not set up conducive to the way that you know that the T-test talks about having certain areas set up for your students to be successful, then now is the time to start to change that. And then you can talk about the adjustments that you made throughout the year. And then finally, again, going back to that professional practice and responsibility. You've been on lots of committees. You've attended several after-school events. You've been to weekend events, all kinds of things that you've been a part of. It is now time, if you have not already, to start gathering those things up so that you are not in a rush to turn in your end of the year documents, because it's the end of the year. You got a thousand other things to do. Particularly, you're going to be heavy. There's going to be a lot of testing that's going to be going on. Grades will be around the corner. They'll be asking you for your documentation, and then you'll kind of throw things together. Let's not do that. TT Innovative Solution is all about the practices that we've been talking to you about you as a teacher being trained on the proper way to present yourself to your students, to your community, and then being innovative, using these innovative practices to solve said problems, giving you a solution. And so again, our solution today is really to talk to you about how well you can start right now gathering your receipts about the things that you have done all throughout this year. I know that this is a great transition to Spotlight 160, because PPR 160 talks about all of this. You being a responsible professional and putting in the necessary work for you to complete each one of these said domains. So in domain 1, it talks about instruction and assessment. I would put a said assessment in my instruction piece, and what that I would put that in the student portfolio that I would offer, and I would show growth for that student. That's a great way to display it, but that's how these things connect. I always like to come and bring those pieces together so you know that all of these things are not disjointed. Some of them, I'll say they're redundant, but they're not disjointed. They are connected in a certain way. And for me, the PPR 160 is connected in this way, okay? You're already designing the instruction. That's the lesson plan part. That's the instructional piece. And then putting in the lesson plans and the assessments and how you're promoting your student learning, that's all a part of T-test rubric information for those parts. And then domain, creating a positive and productive classroom environment. Ain't that learning environment? That's you showcasing how you created great culture in your classroom, how you're sharing this space with each other and growing your students to get to learn to be collaborative. And then domain number 3, implementing effective and responsive instruction and assessment. So that's me going back to reflect and look at the practices and the strategies that I'm using and how well my students are progressing from those strategies. And I think I mentioned in the lesson plan part or the instruction part, I forget which one, that's a great way for you to insert how you've been, these strategies that you've used effectively. I mentioned read, write, and draw, I'm sorry, for math. And then it could be your think, pair, share strategy that you use in social studies or science or wherever you use these strategies. These are great and effective ways for you to be able to showcase what you've done with your students and what they know. And then finally, of course, the whole point of you getting this together in the first place is you fulfilling your professional roles and responsibility. Now on PPR, it's talking about you as a professional showing up and doing what's necessary in order to connect the community, your students, and yourself's understanding of your space and of your educational goal and role. definitely connects to professional responsibility, you gathering your document. All of these, you have gained the receipts over the year. It's not something you have to start over. It's not something new that you have to do. You've done this. And so I'm just giving you a head start for those of us who are new to the profession. Some of us who have been in the profession know it's coming, but feel overwhelmed. This is a great way and a great time right now to stop and to start gathering things that you really want to present to them. I don't want to throw in a lesson plan that they're going to question and say, oh, that you're missing pieces. I don't want to throw in pictures that don't show actively rigorous things that we're doing in our classroom. I want to make certain that I have video that will showcase what I'm doing, okay? And there's the different ways in which you can do that. Get an opportunity to continue to present to you. I'll show those and I'll share that with you. But over the years, I've seen what needs to be done in essence of getting your end of the year evaluation documentation together. And I think that this is a great time, end of March, early April, to start to get that, because the end of the year is going to come. It's coming fast, and it's going to come with a lot of deadlines, And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. So before we end our evening today, I want to continue to spotlight PPR by asking you a question. And I have two questions for you today. Which of the following instructional practices best, and my camera is blocking my view, excuse me, best ensures that a teacher structures the learning environment to address the needs of diverse students? All right, there are keywords within this that you need to focus on. Okay, first of all, instructional practices. Is the said question, stems, answers, are they instructional practices? Then the next part, address diverse students. Okay, mediation addresses certain, differentiation addresses certain things. Remediation does as well, enrichment and modeling. Is it the best to ensure the learning environment address diverse students? Okay, I'll give you a moment to make your choice. Okay, and if you have not made your choice or not quite sure, the best answer choice for this is differentiation. Okay, I don't have my, should have had my highlighter up here to be able to show, but I'll just point to it on the screen, differentiation. Okay, did a whole video over differentiation, and I know that my tongue is getting tied right now, talking about how you can incorporate this into your classroom, all throughout your subjects, across subjects. Go back and view that video. The other areas don't follow because they are not addressing the diverse needs of your students. Okay, remediation serves its own purpose, as I said before. Enrichment allows the students to continue to extend their learning. Modeling shows a pattern of you being the demonstrator, or said kid being the demonstrator of the said information before they do it themselves. So again, A is your correct answer. All right, let's do another one. And our final one for today. Which of the following best supports a teacher's goal to incorporate critical thinking skills into a language arts lesson? Now, I've learned a strategy lately that I do think is a great strategy to be able to utilize, and that is reading the question stems first. I go between the two. So whichever one that you've kind of played around with and they make you feel the best in terms of deciphering information, use that. I typically use to read the answer choices first when there is a long paragraph above it. But when there's a direct question like this, I'll just read it note the keywords that are in it, and then go after the question. So in this one, it says, which of the following students best support strategies, so I'm looking for a strategy, teachers' goals to incorporate critical thinking, and reminded that it's language arts. Providing students with opportunities to seek additional content knowledge. Creating a forum for students to debate points of view. C, having students individually summarize various literature read. And then D, asking students to create practice questions as a review activity. Okay, I'll give you a moment to come up with your said answer. All right. Hopefully you chose B, creating a forum for students to debate points of view. This strategy allows the students to talk, communicate, go back and forward on ideas. It is a great strategy for you to get inside of their thinking because they have to defend their answers. So again, a debate allows students to analyze their argument, present the evidence, strengthen their critical thinking skills. I hope that these two questions were beneficial to you as you approach PPR 160, or if you're generally just gaining more knowledge about the profession itself. And in the end today, my true goal was for you to get started on gathering your receipts. I wanted to make certain that you got a framework or a way in which to present them. So I'm saying to you in my Google Drive, I would simply make 4 folders. One for planning, one for instruction, one for learning environments, and the final one for professional responsibilities. And I would insert those examples that we talked about throughout this particular session. Thank you again, as always, for watching our information and our station. We will continue to do this. I've had so much great feedback about it. Unfortunately, tonight, you noticed this is not able to be live streamed, but I will continue to drop information at the same time as I promised on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, please drop them in the comments below or contact us at info@ttinnovate.com. We would love it if you would head over to our website at ttinnovate.com, see what we have to offer in regards to test taking preparation, and be able to assist you with passing. We are collecting our receipts. Our average is 96% passing rate. And those of our students that have not yet passed, we are working through ways in which to combat test anxiety and getting back at it so that you can pass. So again, we look forward to seeing you the next Monday, same time, same channel, TT Innovate 553. Thank you and have a great evening.